Welcome back to another episode of Sisters in Crime with Shy and Toy. Y'all already know I'm Toy, short for Latoya.
And I'm Shy, short for Shania.
And we are back with another true crime episode. We have been kind of MIA, but that's okay. We went on a mini vacation and life be lifing. When we got back,
Yeah.
we had things going on, but we right back at it.
Mm-hmm.
Calm down, pump your brakes. We're gonna give you what you want. Give the people what they want.
Exactly.
Okay. So
Exactly.
today we're going to get an episode that was featured on Dateline. Please forgive me. I can't remember the seasonal episode. Sis, if you know, you can plug that in. I
So
completely forgot. I think it's like 30 something, 32 or
it's
something.
like season 32, episode 8, but it's called Death at the Spa.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Death at the Spot on Dateline. So we ain't
Mm-hmm.
gonna hold y'all. Without further
Mm-hmm.
ado, my lovely sister is gonna go ahead and get into the introduction. Then I'm gonna bring it home.
Okay, y'all. So let's get into the case today, right? So before we get started, y'all, I'm going to pronounce this young lady's name once, and I don't want to be disrespectful, so I'm going to pronounce it once, but then I'm just going to refer to her first name that I do know how to pronounce, but I just don't want to be disrespectful and butcher her name, right? So this is a case of Ildiko Krajnyak. I hope I'm not butchering her last
Good
name, y'all.
job.
I mean, no disrespect,
You did better than
but
me.
but so from here on out, Ildiko. If you, that's what I'm gonna call her by her first name. Okay. So we're in May 2018. This is the case of Ildiko. So Ildiko was a spa owner. It was a day spa. If you don't know what a day spa is, I mean they do several services like lashes, eyebrows, fillers, and stuff like that. So she was a day spa owner. Her friends describe her being as a fun, loving, encouraging person. They love to be around her. People love to be around her. Like she was just like a magnet for people. She was just like that loving goat, and like person you want to be around. Like very positive, good friend. She was a wife and had a son. Loved her son very much. She was married. I believe her husband, his name was Milio. I think it was how you pronounce it. Um,
Ranilo
is it?
Vestil or Rani?
Mm-hmm. I think that, but see, I think they must have been calling it for short, like Milio. I think they were just calling
Yeah,
him that for
yeah,
short.
yeah.
But they were married, and at first they said they were very happily married, but you know, sometimes in life people feel like they need other things. So, meaning Ildiko felt like she needed other boyfriends, and not just a boyfriend. We're talking about 5 or 6. No judgment here. You do your thing, but that's just what it is, right? So she had these 5 or 6 boyfriends. Her husband knew about it. Apparently, he was okay with it. Wasn't no problem. I don't know many who would be okay with that, but like I said, to each his own, it's not my business. But her friends just said, her friends were like, they didn't judge her. They would just had the thought that, she just wanted love, and her husband's love just wasn't enough. So she said she felt like she needed more. So, hey. All right. So we're in May of 2018. And unfortunately, there is an explosion at Ildiko's day spot. Now, um, instantly, Ildiko unfortunately was killed. Instantly. There were 2 clients in the building with her who weren't killed. They were just severely injured. So right away, this is alarming because they're thinking, is this a terrorist? Like, is it a domestic terrorist? Like, is this like a gas leak? Like, what causes an explosion? Especially if this is during the daytime, people are walking around, you know, going back and forth to work. It's a populated area, and then you just have this explosion. So the survivors indicated that there was a box that Ildiko received, and when she went to open it, it exploded. All right. So the building was completely destroyed. Of course, emergency response shows up, fire department, police show up. And of course, they begin, investigating the explosion. So immediately, Stephen Bill, which is Ildiko's ex slash business partner, um, goes to the police. He finds out about the explosion first. Let me double back. He finds out about the explosion. He's texting Ildiko like, "Are you okay? Like, I heard there was an explosion." Like, and there's just no response. There are several family members and friends texting Ildiko like, "Hey, we heard the spa. There was a explosion. Like, are you okay?" And they're panicking because she had an iPhone. Her iPhone messages were supposed to be blue, but everything was turned up green. So the family's panicking. At that point, the police do a press conference and they say, "Hey, there was a bombing here this afternoon. There is one fatality and two severely injured who were already at the hospital." So one of her friends, she's on the episode, and she was like, right away she knew that it had to be Ildiko. I don't know what gave her that inkling. She was just like, when I was sending her a text and it was just going from blue to green, she's like, I just knew it was her. And her friend, unfortunately, was in close vicinity of the explosion, and she heard the explosion that day, which was like crazy. Because she was thinking, when she heard it, she was like, what is that? And the whole time it was her best friend who was murdered. So Stephen Bill, he immediately went to the police. Now, you will see, y'all, later on why this is alarming, right? Okay. So he went to the police and he's, wanting to talk about the investigation, just, I guess, to offer assistance. So immediately, being that this is Ildiko's business partner, they're just starting this investigation. They're thinking like, was Ildiko the target? Was he the target? Was the business the target? Like, who was the target? So immediately they rush to talk to him so that, they can figure out, what's going on. So they arrive to his house and they actually see packages on his doorstep. So immediately, they panic. They call the bomb squad, just to make sure, because, we just had an explosion, just making sure no one had brought a package to his home. Everything was fine. It seems like it was just some regular Amazon packages, nothing to be alarmed about. So got that taken care of. So they began investigating him, not investigating, but interrogating him. And they asked him, would anyone want to hurt you, Ildiko, or the business? And he was saying, no, Ildiko was a sweet person. No one want to harm her. There was no one wanting to harm our business either. So of course, the cops are, thinking like this is probably going to be a long case, to figure out who did this. So the detectives determined that this was a flash powder bomb in a cardboard box. I thought it was so interesting how they can, even though with all of the debris, they were able to tell like what type of bomb. And also, I was like,
Yeah,
a lot with my
that's
eyes, a lot
crazy.
of this stuff would miss me, but
Hmm. They the expert for a reason.
they expert, and I leave it to them because I was like, child.
Hmm.
Mm. But apparently, they had some bomb technicians come in and identify the some components of the bomb. They found some CVS batteries. Um, like I think they found pieces of like the cardboard, and they just found different things in the debris. So we go back. I told y'all that Milico was married. So, of course, naturally, I mean, you got a wife who has an open relationship, who has affairs, and her husband knows about it. Of course, he's prime suspect. Did he get angry and overwhelmed and just thought, I'm just going to end this relationship and I don't want to end it. I'm just going to hurt her. Like, is that, the dynamic? Like, what's going on? So they end up interviewing him. Searched his house. They didn't find anything. But they dug deeper into their relationship. They found out, of course, they had a son. They raised their son. They had dinner together. They lived together. But that was really it. Nothing else. No, doesn't seem like they had any spark in their relationship or anything. But they didn't find anything suspicious in the home. But Milio, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Milio did provide information to the investigators and said there was a handyman that Ildiko often talked about, who I guess she seemed very creepy to her. He would pull in a parking spot in the parking lot of the spa and just sit there and sleep. But they investigated him as well. They questioned him. They determined that that wasn't a lead either. So they're in the beginning they didn't have much luck, about finding out who could have possibly did this. So finally we get to some text messages that Millie-O was receiving from a woman named Elizabeth. Now, Elizabeth was the wife of one of Ildiko's lovers. His name was Gabor. So Elizabeth was pissed off that Ildiko was messing with her man. Okay.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, she was messing with her. So she was texting Millie-O saying, like, what kind of, basically, I'm going to put it in my terms. What kind of man are you? Man up. Tell your wife to leave my man alone.
Right. And tell
Basically,
keep your wife at your house.
Right. What kind of man are you? Basically, check your wife and stuff like that. That's basically what he said.
But what I feel like though? I feel like she in the beginning was reaching out because she figured he didn't know about the affair. Whole time he know his wife not buying.
He was well.
His wife not buying.
Like, yeah. It definitely gave. I'm trying to like sprinkle some tea, and it just didn't give that.
She didn't get the reaction she wanted, so she had to
put it just didn't. It just didn't give that.
Like, control your.
Yeah, before I check you, okay.
Clock
but.
It.
But so of course, and rightfully so, that ticked Elizabeth off. So of course, she became a suspect because you got this woman, sending text messages. They found out there was a confrontation between Elizabeth and Ildiko at the spa when Elizabeth had caught Gabor and Ildiko making sweet love.
That do that in school. That's so childish.
Yeah. Apparently, and of course, like, Elizabeth had every right to be mad, y'all. Like, I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
right.
But they're thinking like, all right, now is this enough to, is she mad enough to kill her though? So apparently, they found out that Elizabeth was sending nasty pictures to Ildiko of her and Gabor having sex, and I was like, girl, what? I said, Elizabeth is wild. I said, oh my God. But anyway, immediately they questioned the couple and they determined like, there was no leads there either. So they basically, but let me go back. Elizabeth basically said, when investigating, basically you're going to have to interrogate and question all of Elizabeth's exes and lovers because basically her relationship are like a revolving door. I said, oh, that's shady. But anyway. But
did she lie though?
She didn't lie. Not one lie was told. So, like, they spoke to all of her lovers. Like, they have people that surfaced. They said, okay, she was talking to this person. These people would be out of the country and everything. They really couldn't pin it. They all had alibis, so they really couldn't pin anything. So, of course, they're like, all right, like, they kind of had a dead end. So they just started paying closer attention to her ex/business partner because at that moment, he's the only one like talking and, just providing, information. So I'm going to introduce someone into the equation. Her name is Valerie Stone. So Valerie and Steven met on a dating app. Okay. So after the bombing, before the bombing, Steven and Valerie started dating, but after the bombing, he just couldn't stop talking about Ildiko, like, like wanting to know what was going on with the case, like, have they found it, like, what evidence do they have? So they decided to go to the police department. Now, like, y'all know in cases, like, when you got somebody that's itching to talk, who just can't sit still, always got to be in the know.
Come on now.
You typically got your person, right? I'm not trying to spoil nothing, but typically you got somebody who hot in the pants, like he got ant in the pants and just can't stop.
Away. He just can't
he just can't stop.
Lie. Like,
yeah, like He just can't stop, y'all. So he went back, and he started sharing facts about their relationship. He said that he met her. They started a relationship, and then he started getting involved with Ildiko's day spa. So they were running the day spa together. They said the day spa thrived, but their relationship started to, after like 1.5 years, just started to dwindle because he said he noticed some changes in her behavior. So I think he must have had her iPhone password at one point, and she just automatically like changed it one day. And I think this was really upsetting to him. And basically what he found out was, yes, she was married, and he thought that he thought that it was him, the husband, and her. He didn't know it was him, the husband, Gabor, this man, that man. I'm gonna count it up to 6.
It was
I don't know.
about 5 of them.
It was about five. So he didn't know. So apparently, he wasn't too happy about that, and they broke up. So unfortunately, they just admit that Steven was a little too like strange during the interview. But this next part my sister's gonna take over. I just did the intro and leading up into like the murder and stuff and the introducing of the people in this whole case. But now my sister's gonna take over with the rest of the case.
Okay, y'all. So, as my sister told you, Stephen was very strange. Stephen told the police that he could possibly be a suspect. Okay, who does that? Who do that? Why you want that extra attention? He told the police, I could possibly be a suspect myself, and that was because he was a rocket hobbyist. So he had explosives and things in his garage that the police came across. But he said that he used it to make his own fireworks, and it had been years since he had built one. And he just had the chemicals and stuff just sitting around the garage, allegedly unused. Okay, so number one, you implicated yourself, and number two, you told them you had explosives. Like, I don't know if he was just that cocky and thought the police were dumb, but okay, moving on. So during the interview, y'all, this man is literally talking about everything. Like, I just feel like he needed somebody to talk to. So he told them that he had an idea for a screenplay about an assassin because apparently he was an aspiring actor. And then if y'all go watch Dateline, they show a little snippet of him acting. I'm not impressed. Keep your day job, Steven.
Please.
So basically, it was about the screenplay was about a soccer mom who was a part-time assassin type deal. Okay, whatever. So, and the officer said that he told them several jokes and even performed a magic trick.
Y'all, he was pulling coins from behind people's ears during the interrogation. I said, Steven, my Lord.
Steven's so unserious. It's a girl dead. It's too injured. And you up here telling jokes and performing magic tricks? Like, okay, y'all. Anyway, so
It was ridiculous.
By the conclusion of this interview, the FBI decided to lock his ass.
And they did.
Steven is a menace. He was a menace in the interview, and he was a menace when he blew that spot up. Okay, what?
Yeah.
Imagine asking somebody about a murder though, and they pull a quarter from behind you.
When I tell you, you want to make me mad, let me be asking you serious questions, and you try to play a trick. All right, bet.
You trying to tell me a joke? This is not the time. Like, I know I present it's very goofy, but I promise I know when to be serious. I know when to cut it on and cut it off, and this ain't the time for this shit.
I would have been so fired up at Steven.
And the FBI was because they was irritated and locked his ass.
They said, "All right, bet."
They said, "Oh, we got a trick for your ass." So they said, but unfortunately, y'all, federal prosecutors ended up having to dismiss the charges due to a lack of evidence. Now, my sister brought up Valerie slow ass. That's his girlfriend, right?
Okay, now hold on. You're not gonna do Valerie.
Yes, I am gonna do Valerie. Valerie, Valerie was pissing me off. I'm gonna do Valerie. So, when he got released from jail, Valerie, she picked him up. She was what there for her boo through this whole entire ordeal. The very next day, though, the police pulled them over on the side of the road, and the police approached her. They was like, "You know who this is? Like, this man did this bombing at this day spa." Like, they didn't have any concrete evidence, but everybody knew. So she was like, he was released, charges was dropped, whatever, whatever. She wasn't paying no attention, but they searched her car and they didn't find anything. But y'all, in the course of this investigation, the police found security footage of him at a CVS, which was local to the day spa, purchasing a CVS brand single 9-volt battery. And it
Mhm.
was very similar to the one that was found at the crime scene. So the math ain't math, and they also had him on camera at a Chase ATM in the vicinity, and apparently he must have used that cash he got from the Chase ATM to go to CVS to purchase that battery. So I'm thinking he was thinking, if I pay for it in cash, it won't be a paper
Traceable.
trail, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
won't be traceable. But you forgot about the cameras, idiot. Like,
Yeah.
you partially own this business with Ildiko, and you didn't know it was cameras in the block.
Yeah. And then in addition to it, they're trying to figure out if your business was a target. Did you not think your financial records would not be like comb went through with a fine tooth comb? Like, did you not?
I just feel like he's just that cocky. Like, because for how he was carrying himself in the interview and stuff, he's that cocky that, oh, they'll never be
Yeah.
able to put this together. They don't
Yeah.
have anything because they really, right as of now, it is all still circumstantial, y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they can't say definitively that he did this, but who else has explosives in their garage that is involved in this case?
Yeah.
I tell you what's in my garage: my car and a couple storage totes. That's
Not
it.
no explosives.
Not no explosives. So base and not only that, his when he was talking about his relationship with him and Ildiko to the police, he was letting them know we were good, things were, we were business, da da da. Come to find out that was not the case because she was with a friend one night and he was continuously calling Ildiko. They were having dinner. He was continuously blowing her phone up. He became insecure when they were in when because he thought he was the only other man and found out that Ildiko had a roster. He became jealous, insecure, angry, and upset because she always was with another man, getting flew out the country and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, I don't agree with it, but I
But
mean,
who am I to judge? I mean,
I'm
hey,
not
I
gonna
mean,
judge you. I ain't got no heaven and hell to put nobody in.
but I ain't gonna lie. She would listen. Ildiko, she was playing some dangerous games because
She,
listen,
she,
she
she
would,
was the married man is what did it for me
yeah,
because Elizabeth
listen,
was not having it.
right. Now Elizabeth, now that was just funny, but um, now Ildiko would listen, get on a flight with someone, drop him off at the airport, fly to another airport to meet someone else.
To meet somebody else like her. Like, listen, I don't agree with it, but the game was tight. You hear me?
Yes,
Like, if
listen,
you gonna do it right. Get flown international, boo. She over in
yeah,
Hungary with a
right,
whole nother man,
right,
like just all over the
yeah,
world,
right.
getting flued out with
Like
these
my
men.
sis said, if you're gonna do it right. Don't be
If you,
doing this
yeah, like
for
I
no
would
late
never.
night Mickey D's or nothing like that. Like,
I would never, but if I were to do it, that's how I would do it. But you playing a
right, right,
dangerous game when you playing with people emotions because obviously Steven was
yeah,
invested in this.
yeah.
So, now his girlfriend Valerie, he actually ended up proposing to just a few months after the explosion, which is very kind of, but anyway, and he did so by writing her a love letter. Now, by this time, Valerie done moved into the house, and she immediately says yes. So she on Dateline saying, I didn't suspect anything. I checked this whole house. So I was living in the house. I did this. Girl, of course you ain't gonna find out he done got it out. Like, she was so naive to me, but I'm gonna get into a little bit more of that because I loved how that whole show concluded.
I don't.
I
It was.
was cracking up. I was
It
cracking
was.
up.
Listen, I felt bad for her though, like because that's embarrassing on national TV. Like, come on, we gonna get to it, y'all. I'm
We
sorry.
gonna
Let me
get
go.
to it, but listen, I was in the flow.
I
Okay,
said, well,
we gonna get to it. So
no.
also, y'all, the FBI approached her, and she kind of became an informant. So
Hmm.
they bugged her car, her phone. Her and Steven actually had like a little romantic getaways. They actually the government, the feds paid for it, upgraded the room just so they can bug the room during this romantic getaway. They put a listening device into her necklace, and like she said that it didn't make for a great weekend, and come to find out, like, he didn't say anything incriminating. Like, the whole operation was a buzz, but now some people suspect that she probably kind of wrote
Gave
some
him a
down and
heads
kind
up.
of gave him a heads up,
Yeah.
type of deal, because she felt like when they approached her, she didn't have a choice, because she desperately did. Because this area where this happened, at this crime happened, and nothing really happened. So she really did want them to find out who did this, because of course public is probably in a scare panic mode, thinking people just going around bombing places.
Hmm.
But at the same time, she wanted to believe her man.
Right.
So now, remember I said Steven was an aspiring actor. He ended up being cast in a play. He didn't do a good job, but anyway. The play was called 12 Angry Jurors. And guess who was there in the audience? The FBI and Dateline.
Okay.
They went to go see the play, right? So, come to find out, he allegedly claimed he has aphasia. And he had not been working for years and was on disability for more than a decade. Now, if y'all don't know what aphasia is, it's the loss of ability to understand or express speech, which is caused by brain damage and an inability to memorize. But when they're in the audience, because you're an aspiring actor, right? So you got to be able to remember lines, right?
Hmm.
So you got aphasia, but you memorized your lines and recited them, which was
Come on now.
conflicting with the information you put on them disability forms.
Come on now.
Okay? So which one is it? Do we got aphasia, or are we an aspiring actor? Like he very much trying to be in his what's my boy name? Golly.
Robert De Niro.
No, it's his. I love him, but the one I'm talking about, he actually does have. I don't know if it's aphasia. He has some kind of degenerative thing that's been going on. Bruce
Oh,
Willis.
Bruce Willis. Okay.
He trying to be in this Bruce Willis bag, okay?
No.
But the police, they was like, nope. So he ended up. Of course, he lost his disability, but he ended up getting
I know
arrested.
that hurt to be getting that check for 10 years. I know that hurt.
But why would you be in a play if you on
He didn't gotta
disability?
bring that on himself because out of all.
He probably didn't think that. He was like, surely they wouldn't come to my play. The FBI was front
Dude, you
and
are being
center.
investigated for murder. They gonna be everywhere. Like, what are you
Like,
thinking about?
if anything, you should have switched up the disability. Like, you should have said it was something else.
You should have laid low for a little while till all this blew over.
Like Whitney, you better lay low. Like, because, yeah, it's just this case. When I first saw it, I was just dumbstruck. I was like, what is going on? Okay,
but but thankfully he did lay low because, of course we ended up getting.
yes. So he ended up getting arrested again on malicious destruction of building resulting in death, which carries a maximum of life in prison without the possibility of a parole. So that kind of adds up to a murder charge. They weren't able to definitively charge him for murder because they didn't have enough evidence of that. So they tried to go this route. Now, I want to make it clear that they only charged him after the lab finished their investigation on all of the evidence. He did not have a bond, and guess who was right there by his side the whole time? Valerie. Okay. Case went to trial in 2022, so this is recent. You know what I'm talking about? So, and they found this was released in the trial. He repeatedly checked Ildiko's schedule, her appointment schedule, and as well as her Facebook on the day that she was returning to the U.S. and to the spa to see clients because she had been hungry with another boo. He even searched online regarding whether a narcissist could pass a polygraph test, but he allegedly tried to say that was because he was offered an audition to play a polygrapher. I don't know who's offering him these positions because his acting is horrible.
Because
But
I felt so. I watched one of his little excerpts and I was creeped out. I said he's weird. Like,
very weird. Like
mm-mm.
he even looked weird, y'all. Like if y'all see this man, I was like,
He looked
Ildiko,
like he had eyeliner on. No disrespect, but he looked like the Undertaker. That's honestly what he looked
his
like.
face is diagonal. Like it's like lopsided. Like it's not symmetrical. Like most people's. It's just weird. It's just weird.
No, I
Okay.
will say it's just more. It was more long. Like it was like,
I don't know what it is, but he
yeah,
bothers me. Like
yeah,
it's okay.
yeah. It was
Okay.
given ain't wrapped too tight. Yeah.
He just I don't know. Like I don't know what he looking like. I don't know. I don't know what she was thinking. But anyway, this trial lasted 7 weeks and there were
Mm.
a total of 66 witnesses. Now, additionally, when the initial interview took place outside of Stephen's home, they picked up that he was speaking about Ildiko in the past tense. Now, this was important because law enforcement had not yet identified Ildiko as the person that actually died in the explosion. So why would you be referring to her as in past tense? She could have been one of the two that was injured. You know what I'm talking about? So unfortunately, this trial resulted in a hung jury, excuse me. It was 8-4, and the judge had no choice but to declare a mistrial. Now, he did stay in jail while he was awaiting this new trial. And his boo, Valerie, was there. That's my man. I'm going to stick beside him. Probably biggest mistake of her life. But anyway, my sister giving her a little more grace than me. Now, this new trial they had started in June of 2023. So this was last year. Now, I think what was more impactful this time is they actually played a reenactment. And the images of the damage as well as photos of Ildiko's scattered body parts. So, tugging at the heartstrings, right? And this time it only took the jury 2 hours and they came back with a verdict of guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Whole time Valerie still believed he was innocent. It's a setup, and she's like, if he was guilty, he would have told me. I was like, yeah, because that's what murderers do.
Right.
They go around and confess their crimes. That's what they
Right.
do. Like, girl,
Right.
what? But she swears she did not warn him that she was wired when they went on that little romantic getaway. I don't know how much I believe
I
her.
don't know if I believe that either.
I don't believe that. But she was a witness for the defense and the prosecution. So we gonna get into the part we was talking about earlier. So she actually ended up missing a lot in that happened in court because of that, because she wasn't able to attend, being that she was a witness for both sides. In this Dateline interview, y'all, the host literally reads her text messages between Ildiko and Steven that indicated they were very much still involved during the time that she was dating. She thought she was exclusively dating Steven. And she just pauses and she, I didn't know that. You know, I'm like, no, he's an angel. He's a saint. If he was cheating, he would have told you, right? Like,
Okay.
give me your thoughts before I say what I'm gonna say, because maybe I'm just
Okay. Ain't no telling what that man told her when they was laying on the pillow late at night.
it's giving. Who the f did I marry?
Risa Tisa.
Risa, Risa, come help her out, honey.
We love
But
you.
I really do love Risa, like
I
y'all.
know.
I love that story.
Risa been everywhere. She been on
Listen,
Cameron this week. She been everywhere.
y'all, you seen Legion in that little interview he did, still talking about arena football.
No, I didn't see that. Oh man, listen, I just seen that video of him with them big eyes, like you were. I found you in the bed with Bradley. I said, dude, she's not the type of woman to mess with a man named Bradley. Like what?
Exactly. Like we stand with Risa Legion. You can go on somewhere, but Valerie is
Mm-mm.
giving Risa Tisa. Now, have we all been dumb and believed the lies a man told us? Yes. Okay. But this is, I felt like this triggered me. Well, not triggered me. It ticked me off so bad because this is murder.
Yeah, yeah,
This is murder. And like, I felt like, honestly, and this is no shade to Valerie, I just feel like she's an older woman. She was desperate. She desperately wanted to believe in this man because she wanted to settle down. He dangled a ring in front of her, and that's all she saw. Like, and
a very nice
it was
ring, might
nice. It was
I add.
like 1 or 2 carats or something,
Yeah, it
solitaire.
was nice. Oh yeah.
But so after, Dateline, they missed themselves, read them text messages. Of course, she ended the relationship. But I was just
Because
like,
listen, had she have not ended that relationship after those text messages, I would not be on her side. But I will say for me, I get it. I will say where I have a soft spot for her is the fact that she was trying to help. She didn't want the police to find out who did this. She said even if it meant Steven did it, because I mean, come on, y'all. I've never heard of a case before this one, like where someone was like blown up, like by a
yeah,
lover. Like I've never heard of that. Um,
no,
so, I understood. I felt like she deeply believed he didn't do it, especially because he probably seemed to be so upset. But like someone who's not like into true crime and really not looking for something, like when he presented himself in the case, I was like, there you go. But
hmm
for someone like her who's not looking for anything or whatever, it probably didn't even register some of this stuff.
and it very well may not have, because a lot of times you don't know until you know. Like you
Yeah, that's
sneaky
true.
being with somebody. I've been there thinking they one person, and then you come to find out they're a completely different person. You don't even know who you with.
Right.
So I guess I can get that, but she just was irritating me because she was not trying to hear nothing nobody was telling her. I felt like it was so many signs, and everybody trying to tell her, hey, it's not what he's telling you. My thing is, I'm never going to hang on to. I don't care if it's a man, woman, boy, or girl. I'm never going to hang on to somebody's word. It just at the very whim. Like, I'm gonna do my research.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you
Yeah.
tell me something, and looking in his house is not enough, because I'm sure he cleaned that home out before you moved in.
Hmm.
Okay. You ain't just pop up one day and start staying in his house. Like, no, that was a decision y'all made.
Yeah.
But I feel like she just didn't do enough due diligence. Like, if they
Mhm.
are asking you to be a spy,
Yeah.
they really got some. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
really some serious stuff going on. Like, she was
Yeah.
irritating me because I felt like it's one thing to be naive, but I felt like she was being willingly naive. Like,
Naive, like
you
not
like
wanting to.
not
Yeah.
one. But I think because we as women, we always know. I feel like it probably was nagging at her, and she probably constantly questioned herself, overthinking. I've been there, and then it come out to be all the red flags. Like, it ain't six
Yeah.
flags, baby. You need to get out.
Yeah. Yeah. I That could have been it too. Like she just, I think if she knew, like, if she just come to terms like he did it and just like stood on it, she would have to end the relationship. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
when you get to that age, I hear people talk about, you think about dying alone and stuff like
Yeah.
that,
That's
and
why I figured she was that, and she was just
yeah,
desperate. You know
yeah,
what I
she was
mean?
just
Like
desperate. But I'm gonna tell you, Dateline did not have to embarrass that woman on national TV.
that. Listen, why did he do that?
He said, listen, I knew it was about to be some stuff because he said, I'm going to read you some text messages that you missed. I said, here we
I
go.
said, why would he do that? Like, I said, you could have.
Diabolical.
No, I don't agree with that. I
Yeah,
died, okay,
yeah.
but I do not agree with it.
It was
Like,
diabolical.
why would you not pull her to the side, or
Listen,
maybe after the interview, say, "Hey, I'm
yeah,
just concerned. I think you should know
yeah.
this." You know what I mean? Like,
Because
don't
she
don't
sat
don't
there,
publicly embarrass me.
because she was sitting there like this with her hands like this. Y'all can't see my hands, but her hands was like this in her lap. And when he read them text messages, she said, ooh.
Her facial expression. I was not expecting that the first time. I was
No.
like, oh.
I said, ooh. I said,
I
Dateline is
said,
diabolical.
now she is like the laughing stock of Dateline. Because why would you do that? Oh
Yeah.
my god, y'all! But he this we did this case because he actually Steven just recently got sentenced in January of this year, so January
Yes.
2024, and he was sentenced to life in federal prison plus a period of 30 years. So I'm glad that Valerie did wise up and get out of that, because that man was never getting out of jail, and that's no life for yourself. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
conjugal visits and stuff.
Yeah.
Don't do it to yourself. Like, but y'all pay attention to the red flags.
If you don't do
Please.
nothing, keep your head out the clouds and
Yes. Now it's okay to be a little delusional here and there. I do. I'm a little delusional, especially when I first meet somebody. You want to hit a lies. You want to believe a lies. Like,
you want to hit a
okay, I
laugh.
get it, but I know when to cut it off, because
Yeah.
if you keep on with it,
Yeah.
and I know you're lying, I'm like, okay, like, like
Right.
you have to be able to cut your delusional off.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we've all been there. We've all possibly ignored some red flags. For me, it depends on how fine the man is. I haven't grown up completely. If it's a fine man, I may look over a flag or two. Until it bites me in the. Listen,
Ball.
y'all stop ignoring these red flags, honey, including myself. But
Especially when it comes down to murder, all right? Like
murder,
little minor stuff like, when you're really not serious, but like murder, you think
yeah,
about marrying
murder.
a man that's murder? Yeah.
I ain't never.
Yeah.
I ain't never, like, do your research, sweetheart. Oh, real quick. His ex-wife actually passed under mysterious circumstances, and he was a suspect.
See, no, I didn't know that. Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they might be bringing that back too. It
Okay.
was suspicious circumstances that she passed, and good old Steven was a suspect. I forgot about that. I didn't go
Okay.
to a rabbit hole on that,
Yeah.
but I will be keeping my eye on that.
I hope they come out with a special about that because that's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. His first wife. Let's see.
Because
His,
listen, it is several cases where you have repeated spouses
mhm,
who are end up dying under mysterious circumstances, and they find out the spouse did it. So
yeah.
that's
The
interesting.
coroner in that, her name was Christine Beale. The coroner in that case said it was a very mysterious case. She allegedly in 2008 allegedly fell down a flight of stairs. And at the time, and it says while carrying a heavy piece of furniture with her husband, Stephen Beale. So yeah. Mm,
Mm,
it's given he pushed her
yeah,
or used that furniture some kind of way to make it look like an ass. And that's why I'm saying he's the type to think he's the smartest person in the room. That's why he'll say
yeah,
different things
Yeah.
that we may think is real off-putting or real like, why would you say that? Because he in his
Yeah.
mind like, y'all ain't got nothing on me.
Yeah, but whole time they did. You
Yeah,
think you are you outsmarting these cops. Now let me tell you, I will say the cops and the detectives in this case, they were very sharp. Like I said,
yeah,
this stuff I wouldn't even be like, I'll just label him as weird. But I could
yeah.
see why they would think, okay, this is a serious murder investigation and you pulling coins from behind my ear.
And you telling jokes like,
Yeah. Like
see,
what's
be so for
joking?
real. Be
Yeah.
so for real.
If you're gonna be anything in life.
Ain't nothing jokey right now. We got one dead
No.
and two in the hospital.
Yeah,
Like,
two in the hospital.
sir,
And
what?
then another aspect I want to forget, I know Ildiko, like this was horrible what happened to her, and I'm so glad that her family has justice. But we don't want to forget the two victims that were severely
Yeah,
injured
yeah,
because, it was justice for them too. So
exactly.
but thankfully they were alive because they were able to provide a lot of details about what happened that day, about how Ildiko just a box showed up and
Yeah.
she opened it and they just saw black, well, gray, and like a flash and gray, like so
Mhm.
thankfully they did survive. They still live with the impact physically and health wise, the impacts of that explosion today. So we don't want to forget about them either, so I'm happy they have
Right.
justice too.
And if you guys want to, I just looked up the episode real quick. It is season 32, episode 26 on
Oh,
Dateline.
26. I said 8. Why you
Dateline,
8?
you was close. Dateline, and I dare anybody say anything otherwise. But anyway, Dateline is on Peacock. Um, so if y'all want to go see that and let us know your thoughts on this case,
Yes.
please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Sisters in Crime with Shot and Toy. We're on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And it'll be a little lit on TikTok. Y'all get with us over there too. But
Y'all be coming for me and I don't like it.
she handles herself so well. I be in the comments cause I be forgetting sometimes, and I get the notifications on my TikTok page that we have stuff going on the Sisters in Crime page, and I log in and Shot's replying just so gracefully. Whole time in my mind, I'm like, who the f you talking to? We said what we said, and we standing on it. That's why I made it my mind. But her responses are so professional and just well put together. I'm glad she runs that page.
Here's my my number one. Thanks for watching.
Say I'm so proud of her because I wouldn't be able. See, I'm the type I see stuff, and you know what? I'm not gonna say I wouldn't be able. I would have to take a moment.
Yeah.
Like I would have to step back, take a moment, maybe give it a few hours or a day, and then
Yeah.
come back, and I can respond from a better space. But my knee jerk reaction was, "We said what the f we said,"
Yeah.
but she had already handled that. Thank you, kudos to her. 'Cause I was like,
Oh man.
but the views is getting there though. So y'all hit us up. Send us any recommendations, Sisters in Crime with ShiandToy at gmail.com. Do you have any final thoughts, Boo?
No, y'all, join. Well, we're trying to change our time the day we upload, so that'll be changing in the next month or so. So,
Yeah.
we'll of course we'll keep y'all updated, and then y'all will see when the next episode uploads. But y'all, that is all. Y'all take care. Stay blessed. Y'all remember to let us know if you have any cases you want us to research or present on here, or any other topics, even outside of true crime. So our after show, whether it's like a topic like we did overthinking a couple weeks ago, even if it's like something in the media, whatever, just
Let
hit
us
us up.
know. And as always, drink your water, mind your business, don't murder. Okay.
Exactly.
And we'll see you back next week.
Bye, y'all. Mwah. Have a good week.
Bye.